You ever notice how one programming language just seems to be, well, everywhere? I mean, from the high-stakes world of Wall Street trading to the quiet of a university science lab, it's this invisible force running a shocking amount of our digital lives. So what's the deal? Why is this one language, Python, popping up in so many different places? Well, that's what we're going to unpack. We're going to find out what makes it so incredibly popular and honestly, indispensable. And to get it, let's start with something we can all relate to, the job market. The numbers here are just wild. If you're looking to become a data scientist, 2 out of every 3 job postings are going to mention Python. For data analysts, it's 1 in 3. The message couldn't be clearer. If you work with data, Python isn't just a nice skill to have anymore, it's a must-have. And we're not just talking about one industry here. We're talking about everything from predicting the stock market, to running robots on a factory floor, to literally decoding the building blocks of life. I mean, think about how different those fields are. Yet Python is the common thread tying them all together. And this right here, this gets us to the core idea. The absolute best way to think about Python is as a digital Swiss Army knife. You see, it's what's called a general purpose language, which is just a fancy way of saying it has a specialized tool ready to go for almost any problem you can imagine. So let's pop open this knife and take a look at the first tool, the data decoder. This is really Python's superpower in the massive, massive world of data. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. Take this example from a Reddit user. They used Python to pull raw data, just log files, directly from factory machines. This let them spot problems almost instantly on equipment that wasn't even designed to be tracked. That's a perfect example of Python bridging the physical and digital worlds to solve a real problem. Now, inside the data world, you've got all these different specialists, right? You have data analysts who use Python to create charts and really see the data. You've got data engineers who use it to build the complex pipelines that move all that data around. And then you have data scientists who use it to build models that can actually predict the future. 3 different jobs, all relying on Python. So you might be asking, how can it do all of that? Well, here's the secret. Python doesn't work alone. It has this huge ecosystem of free open source libraries. You can think of them like power-ups in a video game. You've got pandas to organize data, NumPy for heavy-duty math, and scikit-learn for all things machine learning. This amazing toolbox is what makes Python the undisputed king of data. Okay, now for our next tool. And this one might be a bit of a surprise. We're taking a pretty big leap from factory floors into the laboratory to see how Python is being used to program the code of life itself. I know, it might sound like a stretch, but just think about it for a second. On one hand, you have computer code, 1s and 0s. On the other, you've got genetic code, A, T, C, and G. At their core, they're both just information systems. And Python is incredibly good at processing information, no matter what it looks like. And it goes so much deeper than just reading a sequence. Researchers are now building these dynamic models of biological systems, where, as this paper puts it, the models are the programs. That's a huge deal. It means scientists can run complex simulations and test out new ideas right there in the code. In fact, get this. We can now use the same type of AI that powers things like ChatGPT to understand DNA. Researchers take one of these big models, feed it a ton of DNA data, and then train it to do a very specific job, like figuring out the function of a genetic sequence. And the results are pretty stunning. In one study, a model trained with Python hit over 80% accuracy in predicting what a piece of DNA does. This kind of technology could completely change how we understand diseases and develop new medicines. So, we've seen Python decode data and DNA. The final tool we're going to pull out of our Swiss Army knife is what I like to call the universal connector. This is all about how Python gets different programs and different systems to talk to each other. A huge part of this is something called an API. Now, don't let the acronym scare you. An API is basically just a menu at a restaurant. It's a list of services that one program offers, which allows another program to just walk up and place an order for some data or to make something happen. And this right here is where Python is just fantastic. It makes connecting to these digital menus incredibly simple. A lot of the time, you can get data from a website with just one easy-to-read line of code. That simplicity is everything. It's why it's so popular for this stuff. And hey, don't just take my word for it. You see people in the field giving this advice all the time. This developer on Reddit tells beginners to focus on these exact connector tools, requests for APIs, and other libraries for web scraping, which is just pulling information directly off of websites. So what can you actually do with this? Well, you could write a script to track prices on Amazon, automatically pull data from your Twitter account, have it post to your blog for you, or even sift through your emails. It's like the digital glue holding the internet together. So we've seen Python as a data decoder, a DNA programmer, and a universal connector. The big takeaway is just how incredibly versatile it is. So the next logical question is, how can you get started with it? Well, the good news is there have never been more ways to learn. You've got your structured online courses, you've got massive communities on places like Reddit where you can ask for help, and of course there's the classic method of just diving in and building your own personal projects. And then there's this powerful new option, AI tutors. This user's experience is becoming super common. Using a tool like ChatGPT to not just get the code, but to ask why the code works the way it does, that can speed up your learning like nothing else. It's basically like having a personal tutor who's available 24/7. So in the end, Python isn't just a language you learn. It's a tool for building things. Whether you're analyzing data, automating a boring task, or creating the next big scientific breakthrough, it gives you the power to bring your ideas to life. So the only real question left is, what will you build?